jumping around. They rush 4. Plenty of time for John. Now squeezes, steps up in the pocket. LA can run. Inside the 10. Head first. He flies off the 5-yard line.
Manning out of the gun. Manning lets it fly. It's caught by Thomas. There's the record for Peyton Manning.
Rushing 4, ball comes out of the hands of Newton. It's on the ground and still on the ground. Picked up by T.J. Ward at the 4-yard line. And here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him free to the 30. To the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on the New England. They win it on the first.
Nothing wrong with Orange and Blue Podcast.
What is up, NRW crew? How you doing, MHRT famine? Welcome, Broncos country, to another episode of the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue Podcast. I am your host, Johnny Bakke. With me, as always, my best friend in the world, godfather to my kids, and my co-host, Isaiah Dark Knight. I'm going to stick with Pookie, though, because in honor of our upcoming guest, his fun nickname is Boo Boo. So we got Pookie and Boo Boo on the show tonight. Isaiah, how was your week, buddy?
It's still going. As you can see, I just threw on my jersey because I literally rested from Nashville traffic, and I'm still in uniform and boots, but I'm here. So the week's going. The week's going. How's
that Nashville
doing? Well,
it's been a rough week. We've had a rough week. You know, lots going on negatively for the family. But you know what? We're on the up. We're on the up climb. So we're coming out of it.
On the mend.
So all right. Welcome everyone to Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue Podcast. We are a fan-led Broncos-based podcast that goes live every Thursday at 7:654 on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch on the MHRT Network. We also have several other shows. We have the newly branded 5280 podcast on Tuesdays, same time, same place. Now, last night we premiered the first episode of the Wild Wild West, featuring podcasters from all 4 AFC West teams. It was a blast. It was a wild success, and we are very excited about it. That is at 7:30, 6:30, 5:30, 4:30, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We also have Broncos Breakdown every Friday with Bronco Bill, 7654, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Don't miss them. Isaiah, would you please talk merch for just a second?
all right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not aware yet, we officially have an MHRT merch store. Here at this merch store, you can go in. You can find your favorite podcast. We got the 5280 podcast merch. We have Broncos Breakdown with Bronco Bill. We got Wild Wild West merch. And then we also have NRWOB merch. So you can find your favorite podcast. You can buy them all. You can buy some. We also have bottles with your favorite, with me and Johnny's face on it, looking just like this. So if you want to see me and Johnny every day, you can definitely get that. So if I were you, head on over to the merch store, see what you like. We got different colors, different sizes going over there, and let's get some hoodies for the gym.
That's right. That's right. So, hey, last thing, remember you can catch us. You can catch all the audio versions of our podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, be it Apple, Google, Spotify, anywhere. You can find us there. Okay. He's waiting in the green room, so it's time to bring him in. He's sitting in his Benz, making me, as he always says, feel like a poor.
Putting us to shame.
Yeah, he always says that. It's one of my favorite things. He always says, I'm like a poor. But anyway, we have the bona fide Broncos insider, the host or the co-host of Broncos Country Tonight on KOA Radio. Please welcome, if you will, with me, Mr. Benjamin Boo Boo Allbright.
Hey! I'm actually at Chipotle getting food, so I apologize.
Hey, you know what? You're making me hungry. I haven't had Chipotle.
That's the best place to get food. So
You guys
all
don't
is
mind.
forgiven.
I apologize here. So a couple of minutes, I got to get a chicken bowl, and then we're headed back over.
A chicken bowl. I'm a burrito guy myself, but that's okay.
I'm steak. My wife loves the burrito bowl, so you get this one. You win this run, Ben.
Yeah, I can barely hear you here, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Well,
hey,
we'll go to the comments while Ben takes his order.
Yeah, how about while Ben takes his order, we bring in some comments and we discuss some things. And Ben, as soon as you're back in the car, we'll get you back. We'll get back with you. All right. So Ben will be back in a minute. We got Avatar first, and as always, he says, "What's up, Broncos country? Always.
Let's
Never
ride." He's probably at work. He says, "I now have a new saying. If it isn't right, then it didn't come from Allbright."
You are very right, my friend.
Mahad Prophet, what's up? Welcome. He says, "Boo boo,
boo boo." Which, by the way, if anybody hadn't heard, that's something that came out this week. Ben let it slip that in his childhood, his mother nicknamed him Boo Boo, and I mean, obviously, Pookie, you know how it goes. You let something like that slip, it's with you forever, right?
It's game over. It's game over.
Yeah.
Ronald Samples, who I'm thinking of nicknaming Costco for the free samples.
There you go. Says, Costco.
What's up, Broncos country? Denver Broncos for life. Let's ride. We got Boss Man in the house, the Wizard.
Mundungus Creedy. He's waving.
EJ, he says, "What's up, Broncos country? Let's ride."
EJ.
Glenn Malhigh Fiber Hauser says, "Prepared for Ben by mixing it up old-fashioned and dousing myself and venom."
Oh, my goodness. That's hysterical.
Curious to see if Ben had a V-neck on.
No, Ben is not rocking his deep V, as you can tell. Now it is. There it is.
So when we tweeted earlier about Ben coming on, I believe it was Blue Ridge Bronco that tweeted back. He said, "I don't know who that is. He's not wearing a V-neck, so I don't know. This must be a fake account."
Yeah, that's funny.
Mama, she says, "Hi guys, Dad, Mom, and Grandma in the house. Love you. Dream Weaver says, "Sup, boys?"
Yeah, what's up, cuz? How you doing, buddy?
Hey Ben, if you can hear us, so you're.
I'm sure. I think Glenn can still hear us. Yeah, Glenn says spring for the guac. EJ says, "OMG, I can't believe it is Ben Allbright." And he also says, "Happy National Burrito Day." Is it really? Because if it is, I'm going to be really upset that I didn't get my burrito.
No, the Broncos posted something that said National Beer Day.
Well, I mean, here's my
beer.
Okay,
guys, I'm back. Sorry
There's
about that.
Ben. Hey, buddy. Sorry about that. It was just, terrible timing right there, I suppose. But
great timing, one of the two.
Well, I mean, I've got that covered. But anyway, so hey, Ben, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I haven't seen you since January, right after that horrible loss to the Chiefs.
Yeah, DNVR bar, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It's good to see you. Obviously I listen to you every night, so it's not necessarily as good to hear you. But it's good to see you, buddy. So how's life? How are you doing?
I'm always in a hurry, so that's why we're getting Chipotle while we're doing this.
Oh, that's great. Hey, it's a side of you that nobody else has ever gotten to see is Ben Allbright's Chipotle order. So now we know it's
never done an on-camera Chipotle order. So that's an exclusive for this podcast. You might you want to lead with that. And definitely not that I'm on. So
no, that's going on Twitter. Per Bronco Viking at Ben Allbright Chicken Bowl.
There you go.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do, Ben, is we're gonna have everyone spam your house or your workplace with burrito bowls. So we're gonna put out your order for everyone to know, and they're gonna send you unlimited burrito bowls.
I'm here for that. I just I was making sure I didn't get my my license plate in the background there because there's enough people on the internet that hate me that I didn't want my my plate on the back of my car.
That's
people figure it out.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's probably smart. We definitely don't want that to happen. But there's also plenty of people that love you, so you take that for what you will.
Before I start with my first question, my cousin Jay, he has a question for you. He wants to know when the boxing match with Marilad is.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, Never gonna happen. What do I have to gain by that? Like I would absolutely destroy that guy in a fist fight. And like if I accidentally but if I slip and he catches me on the jaw and I get knocked out, I mean it's just a lose for me. Plus, like what is there to gain out of that? Like I'm not, the guy has no audience. I mean, there's literally nothing for me to gain out of that. If I want to donate to charity, I'll just donate to charity. So
there you go.
I enjoy, like, the thing about it is like I don't actually dislike or hate James Maryland. He got a little personal in there, and I think that's corny. But as far as the rest of the stuff goes, like I know the guy. I've known the guy for a few years. I just like tweaking him because it's easy. Like it's to me, he represents everything that is hilariously terrible about this industry. And so when I get the opportunity to just like poke fun at that a little bit, like, that's what I do. I get that what he's trying to do. He's trying to get clicks because that's what he needs in order to work his brand. So hopefully my tweaking him brings a little attention, and then in the end I get to have a little fun too.
Speaking of your brand, Glenn comes in and says, Ben, congratulations on the new deal. Congratulations from Nothing Rhymes on your new deal. Well deserved. He says, how would you describe the incredible chemistry you and Ryan have?
I would describe it with the scent of vetiver in keeping with Ryan, it's all Ryan. Ryan is the brains of the show, man. Ryan really, Ryan doesn't get enough credit for what it is that he does for BCT and everything like that. I'm kind of the face, but he's kind of the brains. And so, like, I bring a big social media following, which his is growing, and then I
he got verified.
Well, yeah, we finally got him verified for whatever reason. But it's just I bring. There's a few things I bring to the table, and I know how to get attention. I've always known how to get attention, so that kind of helps. And I get a little information and all that kind of stuff. And Ryan's the brains of the outfit, and our chemistry, man, it's just one of those things. Like we're just two dudes that are just having fun doing this, and I think that's it. It's not forced. It's not two people that some radio conglomerate matched up or any of that kind of stuff. It's two dudes that were genuinely friends, like just doing the damn thing.
That sounds awfully familiar, Johnny. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Up there
So Ben, I don't know if I've ever been. I don't think I got a chance to explain the dynamic with me and Isaiah before. Is Isaiah and we met in the Army, and we've been best friends and ever since. And he's godfather to my kids. And one day we were just like, hey, we have a lot of Broncos knowledge. Let's start a podcast. And it's just it's just kind of how that was the birth of all this.
Yeah. So from what I've heard, Ben, is that
what's that? Ben? I was going to say that's awesome. I was going to do a coin check real quick since we're all vets. I was going to do a coin check rein check and
coin check.
I realized I don't have mine on me, so I guess that would. I guess that's a coin check.
Mine
I have a General Mark Milley one, 3-star when he was 3-star.
I just got one from that I got the other day. I just got one from a 1-star the other day, and they're all in my car right now.
Okay.
I mean, we can do a coin check. We can do a coin check. I don't want to embarrass anybody.
We got to get down to some Broncos talk here, but I promise you, Ben, the next time I'm in Denver and I run into you, we'll coin check at the bar.
All right, sounds like a plan. Just to be fair, my coin check came from HR McMaster, who I served under. So
McMaster?
Yeah.
We can do a coin check, or I just throw on my blue cord. So I mean, you guys can choose.
You keep that. You're not even infantry anymore, MP. So what? So keep that. Blue
I've got it
away.
tattooed. I've got it tattooed and it's hanging on my wall.
Wonderful, but you sold out and win MP. So who cares?
7 years was enough. 7 years is enough.
That's fair. I did 15, so that was more than plenty. So.
I did 8. So
I'm 8 years in now. I'm still in, so I'm 8 years in now. So I'm just trying to get like you, Ben.
As the guard, whatever. Anyway,
Glenn has a good question for you. He says, "What is your favorite story you've ever broken?"
Oh man, shoot. I think the favorite story I've ever broken wasn't even a Broncos story. I think it was when I broke the Sam Bradford for Nick Foles trade, because back then. I was just some guy on Twitter, and like people were still trying to figure that out. Like, who is this guy? How does he know this kind of stuff? And no one saw that one coming. So for me, like I think that was my favorite one, just because it was one of the first major ones that kind of, sort of put me on the map, I guess. More so than anything else. Like there are personal stories I think that are favorites to me because they're personal, but I don't think that I think that one's probably my favorite just for that kind of reason.
That's awesome. So I'm sure as quiet as it has been in Dove Valley, it's been super boring for you not having anything to talk about or report on.
Speaking of Dove Valley, that's where we're walking into now.
Oh, there we go. Look at that, guys. Hey, there you go, NRW crew. We're going in HQ right now.
Johnny, we're gonna be there one day together. I promise.
Yeah, we are. I swear. We're gonna make it happen. Like, I'm gonna call Ben when we get there and be like, "Hey, we're in town. Come unlock the door."
And I'm gonna bring me some Chipotle. It's a chicken bowl. You know my order.
It's that easy. We'll bring you beer and Chipotle. We win. Anyway, so hey, it's obviously very boring this offseason. Nothing to report on or talk about.
Right.
So what I wanted to ask you, what are your 3 favorite moves the Broncos have made this offseason, be it trade or free agent signing? What are your 3 favorite moves so far?
Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson.
Too easy.
No,
who's Russell Wilson?
DJ Jones, Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson again.
Fair.
That's fair enough. What was your
Hey, say hi to Ryan.
Wait.
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
It's good to see you, buddy.
Hey guys.
That's a nice studio.
Okay.
It's a very nice studio.
We got some work to do, Johnny. Ben, question for you. We've asked everyone on this that's been on this show since it happened. What was your initial reaction to the Russell Wilson trade when it was officially announced?
Well, glee, I guess. We for like 30 minutes before it broke. I couldn't say anything because they hadn't talked to the players yet. It's one of the things, like, since we're a partner, that's one of the things that we're get sidled with, like with that stuff. Like if
gag order.
Yeah, like I can't say anything until. So that was, but here's the thing: is like that had been worked on for a long time, and we kind of knew last year that he was definitely going to be Plan B if it wasn't Rodgers. It's funny because Ryan and I had seen George Payton out at the bar, grabbed a beer, all that kind of stuff, and chatted with him for a few minutes, and that dude was poker faced. We had no idea, like a few days before, that was coming. So I'm never playing that dude in cards. Like,
he's got to be a master poker player.
Right. But he was just like he knew it was coming, and he was stone faced. But so super excited. I've been a Russell Wilson fan since he was a freshman at NC State. So for me, it's going to be super cool getting to cover the guy this year.
Well, and I don't know if you recall, but back in December, before I actually met up with you at the bar in January, when you and Ryan had me on BCT as your guest for the first time, I said it on December 16th. I want Russell Wilson over Aaron Rodgers or anybody else. I want Russell Wilson. And so to see that come to fruition, to say that on the air on BCT with you and Ryan and see it come true, it was like I ran outside and because my kids were asleep, and I called Isaiah up and I'm like, "Have you seen Twitter?" Like it was.
What happened was I was at work, and so I remember there was some Russell Wilson Philadelphia rumors, and my boss is a Philly fan, so he comes back down. He goes, "Hey, you guys just traded for Deshaun Watson." And I was like, no, we wouldn't go anywhere near him. That doesn't make sense. So I'm refreshing Twitter like crazy. I'm like, I'm hearing no chatter. He's like, well, whoever you have on Twitter sucks because they just announced it. So I'm scrolling. 45 minutes in, and finally pops up. Had I known when he told me, I would have broke the story.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was the interaction I had. And Glenn has another question for you. He says, with your interaction with Coach Hackett in Indy, how do you see him doing in his first year as head coach?
Well, I don't think him hanging out with us at the bar has much to do with his coaching ability. But I'll tell you, the dude's a trooper, man, because he shut that joint down and he was fired up the next morning, just as chipper as could be. So I'll say he's got plenty of energy. The question is, can he coach? I mean, that really is the question at the end of the day. He's a likable guy. I mean, certainly one of those people that never met a stranger kind of people, but. That's going to be the question. And there's a lot of inexperience on this coaching staff. They're probably going to be some things that slip through the cracks that they're going to need, learn on the fly. So I think having a veteran quarterback like Russell Wilson is going to be a huge addition to the coaching staff, as it were, since he'll be the coach on the field. And I think that will help out a lot.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, the Broncos have made quite a few good and, in my opinion, big moves this offseason to shore up our holes that we've had. What do you see as maybe the last move they might make, either before or after the draft in free agency?
They may bring Bryce back. We know they need another corner, and so that's really, I think, the one to kind of keep your eye on. I don't think there's too many other moves out there, to be honest with you. Maybe there may be a running back move, but I think they're going to go to the draft for that. So maybe Bryce, but they're not. The Broncos don't want to be big spenders in free agency because that means you missed on drafting and developing at some position somewhere anyway. So
Right.
I don't think they want to be big spenders. I think they want to go out and plug the holes that they have and then go from there.
Well, my next question to you is regarding free agency. Pro Football Talk came out with a report saying that Melvin Gordon's market and what he's looking for is 1 year, $2.5 million. I mean, that sounds kind of low. From what you're hearing in Dove Valley, is that what you're hearing? Is there any talk? Are there still talk between George Payton and his agents? What's the likelihood of Melvin Gordon returning?
Well, first of all, Melvin Gordon changed agents. He switched to Athletes First because the market was this soft. Second of all, 1 year's 2.5 is not what he's looking for. He's looking for more than that. And I know that for a fact. 1 year 2.5 is like the offers that he's been getting.
Okay.
So he'll and I think he'll sign for more than that. I don't think he's going to be back in Denver, but we'll see. He doesn't think he's going to be back in Denver. But there's
he's your neighbor, right? Like your next door neighbor, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I mean, you know him pretty well.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're jumping in the shower together to save water, but
well.
My neighbor's definitely not Melvin Gordon.
Hashtag military life. Anyway.
I don't even know his name. But, you come a long way from the barracks to Melvin Gordon is your neighbor. So whatever you're doing, I need to do because time is ticking away. You said – go ahead, Johnny.
No, go ahead, Isaiah. Go.
I was going to ask the next question was, the top three that we, possibly returning to Denver, Bryce, Melvin, and Kareem Jackson. There was a report saying that he didn't have he doesn't really have a market. I mean, what's your thought process on that? And is there a possibility that he returns as well?
I don't think he's going to return. We'll see. There were some reports out there that they'd had contact, which wasn't really totally true. I mean, the Broncos have reached out to his agent, but they haven't really spoken at all. Texting Kareem, he didn't think he was going to be back. So, what people say publicly and what they say privately are often two different things. And, just because Melvin and Kareem hope that they would be back with the Broncos doesn't mean that they believe that they will be. And I think that's probably the best way to put that.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, after you head off to do your show here in a little bit, Isaiah and I we're gonna do our first mock draft episode of April. That's when we decided to do it. Was wait for April since it's draft month and do a few mock drafts. And I wanted to ask you the difference between the two, in your opinion, or who you would pick between the two that the 64th pick that Isaiah picked and I picked, and who of those two, which one you would take? I took Bernard Raymond, the offensive tackle out of Central Michigan. And Isaiah, you took
Abraham Lucas from the right tackle from Washington State.
So of those two, if you were to put a grade on which one you would pick, which one would you go with?
Well, I think both are good picks. I don't think Raymond's going to be there. Lucas might be there, or Raymond probably won't. And so that's probably the problem there. You have to default to Raymond because I guess it's air quotes better value because he's ranked higher on the board. But both would be good picks.
Okay.
Honestly, though, I think they're going to go edge rusher there. I really do. So we'll see.
Okay.
That's what Cameron Parker mentioned earlier in the group chat. He said edge rusher. I chose right tackle because I believe that, all the tackles we have right now on 1 year deals. I think to try and get that right tackle for the future is, I think, a bigger need than edge rusher right now with the depth. But I'm going to default to your expertise.
Yeah, for real.
No, I mean, that's just my guess, guys. I got 60 seconds, so I got to run.
All right. Well, then we'll just say thank you, Ben. Thank you for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure talking to you again. And hopefully we can get you back on in the future. It'd be an absolute honor. Hope you enjoyed it. And we've broken for the world Benjamin Allbright's Chipotle order. So
yes, it's gonna be great to meet you when me and the wife are in Denver one day, and you guys can sit there and chat about chicken bowls or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, Kareem is coming back.
Is he?
I just saw that. I
saw Graham one of our fans just said that, and I
One-year
literally
deal,
picked up my phone to pull up my Twitter.
Yeah, 1 year deal. He didn't believe he was going to get it, but I guess they gave him the 1 year deal, so he is back.
There it is, Rhino.
That's actually pretty cool that we talked about that.
I'm seeing where Ryan O'Halloran broke it, and then
good job, Graham.
Ryan, and then Ryan, your Ryan, then your Ryan retweeted. So, well, Boo Boo, it's been a blast.
As always, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. I hope.
It was a pleasure and an honor. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had breaking news right here with Benjamin Allbright.
On NRW crew, the Broncos insider, literally just confirmed. Even though our awesome fan Graham threw it in there, it was kind of cool that the Broncos insider was literally on our show when the news that said that Kareem Jackson is coming back to Denver broke. How freaking cool is that?
Graham, I owe you an apology because I saw your comment. And I was going to go pick up my phone to go look, but I hadn't. I was like, well, Ben. I was like, Ben.
I did. I had my phone in my hand because I saw that comment.
I was like, well, Ben didn't say anything. I was like, oh, Ben's
and
phone
I was literally logging
up
into Twitter as Ben said it, and I was like, well, there it is.
Graham Tidkey, the Broncos insider, said it himself. Kareem Jackson just agreed to. So we have Caden Stearns and Kareem Jackson. Now that we have Kareem Jackson back. In the comments, who starts this year, Kareem Jackson or Caden Stearns?
Oh, Kareem Jackson.
Over Caden Stearns?
Over Caden Stearns. Absolutely.
Okay.
You're gonna want that. You're gonna have his veteran presence on the field. You're gonna, he's a leader. He's been a leader in that locker room. And it will absolutely be Kareem Jackson starting if we're signing him. Since we're signing him. It's going to be Kareem. And that gives Caden Stearns another year to kind of learn at the feet, so to speak, and get good right there. And hey, I am all there for it. I am not at all. Thank you, Gator.
He says, look at you guys breaking the K-Jack News live. Shout out to Ben, my favorite Johnny Knoxville stunt double.
Woo! Love it. So, all right. So this has been, I've had a lot of fun. I want to go to Glenn's question that we didn't get to have answered by Ben before he left, but he asked, who do we think this will open this season, home and on the road?
I heard we open. I know the season opener. There's a lot of speculation that it's the Rams.
The Rams.
So the Rams just got Bobby Wagner. It's going to be Bobby Wagner versus Russell Wilson and Aaron Donald. So that's going to be.
Fun.
That's a test. That's a test right out the gate. That's going to be that's week one. That's a tough matchup.
Look, think about it this way, just for a second. And we got to get to our mock drafts here soon, but think about it this way for just a second, think about it. You've got, the Broncos who are only just now returning to relevancy, right? I mean, you can't deny that over the past 5-6 years, we have been absolutely irrelevant as far as the bigger picture in the NFL goes.
Correct.
We had Russell Wilson. That brought and all season long, people have been saying they're a quarterback away. Well, we added the quarterback. The Broncos are returning to relevancy. But then you put us up against the team that just won the Super Bowl. What a way. Could you imagine if that's our season opener? The Broncos go on the road with Russell Wilson and kick the snot out of the reigning Super Bowl champion LA Rams. Can you picture the the return to relevancy at that very second? I mean, good Lord.
Well, at the same time, it'll be the first time Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson are not on the same team in their careers, and they're going to play each other in the first game.
Right.
So
it's going to be fun.
Granted, they both know each other. They both, went against each other in practice. Also, Avatar says Mundungus needs to hire Graham to the crew because he's obviously the Broncos insider. Obviously the Broncos insider.
Yeah, right. Oh, Graham, we appreciate that, man. Like that was cool.
Should have trusted you.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I didn't distrust. I don't ever believe anything until I can confirm it.
Well, he put the LOL in full cap, and I was like,
right. Well, I mean,
I thought it was joking.
No offense to Graham, because Graham has been a fan of ours for we've seen him in the comments for a long time, and no offense, Graham, but I thought we've had people troll us with things like that before, so I was worried that it was a troll. And so, I was just grabbing my phone as Ben. I was logging into Twitter as Ben said it and confirmed.
Well, the crazy part is that we were just talking about Kareem Jackson in that moment.
Yeah.
When the comment popped up.
Yeah. Now, I like this one by, real quick, I like this one by Biggie Bronco. What's up, Biggie? It's been a while, my friend. He says, go on the road and kick the snot out of KC week 1. I've heard that too.
I would love that.
That's the other possible season opener I've heard is Broncos versus Kansas City, Denver versus Kansas City on the road, possibly.
Oh, that is set the tone. That is set the tone right there,
again,
baby.
Either way, Broncos are fixing to kick the snot out of whoever they face week 1, right? Broncos country. Amen. All right.
Well, it's crazy. It's crazy, Johnny, that I just asked Ben, I was like, what do you think about Jackson? He's like, well, I was texting him. He didn't think he's going to come back and all this stuff. And then Graham pops up because he just signed a 1-year deal. And I was like, I didn't register because I was like, nah, that's not real because we're talking about him now. I was like, Graham's joking because, or whatever the case may be. And then I was like, he's back. I was like,
we literally got to have the Broncos insider confirm live the breaking news on our show. How cool is that? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit fangirling right now about that fact. I mean, I'm not fangirling so much right now over the fact that we had Ben on the show because I've actually got to hang out and eat and drink with Ben, a few months ago. And that was a blast, by the way. Real awesome dude. And again, huge shout out to Ben Allbright for coming on Nothing Rhymes this week. We really appreciate it. We can't wait to have him back on.
Now, my question, Johnny, is we signed K-Jack. Do you think we signed Bryce Callahan? Because I don't think we signed Kawan Williams to a 3-year deal?
Nope, absolutely not.
We signed Kawan Williams to a 3-year deal, right?
Look, I don't. Two or three.
Fact check.
I'd have to. Hang on. I'll keep talking. You pull up the spot track.
Okay.
On Kawan Williams, but. Let me say this. You did not bring back what?
You see Ben's tweet about K-Jack's position and what he's going to do? He says, I bet K-Jack is back on more of a chess piece than role than a true high safety, like Stearns and Simmons. So he's saying he thinks Stearns and Simmons will be the starters. You're going to have to pull a spot check because my computer's way too far away. But he thinks Stearns and Simmons will be the starters, and KJ's going to be more of a Baron Browning move around type piece, more of like a Isaiah Simmons kind of piece. And also one of the films I was watching today, which we had a top 30 visit, is Nick Grant.
2-year, by the way.
2-year. Okay.
One so is a 2-year, $5.2 million contract with $75,000 or $750,000 signing bonus, 2.5 guaranteed. So an average annual salary of 2.6.
I don't think we bring Bryce Callahan.
No, we absolutely don't bring Bryce Callahan back. Look,
if we did, I'd be happy.
This is what I was going to say when you asked me, do we bring him back? It was going to be an either or situation. The Broncos have 16. Well, before this, bringing K-Jack back, which we're still waiting to find out the exact, layout of that contract. Before we brought him back, we had $16.4 million left in cap space. 6.7 of that is going to have to be reserved for the draft class. You're going to have to save some of that for mid-season emergencies. Like what happened last year when we had a whole bunch of inside linebackers get hurt. You're going to have to save a little bit to bring in guys in mid-season in emergency situations. So, look, we just signed another veteran. He's back. Thank God. I'm very excited. I've never been against bringing K-Jack back. No. I did not think he was coming back, but I've never been against it. And I'm very excited that he's back. Now, that being said, we are not going to be able to afford to bring back another vet. Not right now. We've got to do the draft. Let the market mellow on any other positions we might think we can get in free agency after the draft. And once that happens, we might be able to add a couple more, I wouldn't say key pieces filling holes, but adding some depth maybe. But I honestly think at this point, pretty much what's left is the draft for the Broncos. They've made a lot of big moves. They've done it quickly and it's happened fast. So now I think George Payton's going to mellow. He's going to put his hands out behind his head. He's going to lean back and he's going to take a deep breath until the draft.
Well, speaking of draft, Johnny, we got to go.
We need to go over these. So
our mock draft. So I think we should do second, third, and we have 2/3, 2/4. So I think we should do those 5 picks.
Wait. We're not going all the way through all 7? That's okay.
I I just say, dude, maybe do the 2/3 and the 4th.
Man, there's a couple in the last few that I managed to get that I really liked. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll do 5. We'll do 5.
You want to go 1-for-1 swap?
1-for-1 swap. So I talk about my first, and you talk about your first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with it.
All right, so you go first. You already mentioned it to Ben.
Well, hold on. I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up right meow. All right, so my first pick at 64 overall, Bernard Raymond, offensive tackle, Central Michigan. Tall dude, 6'6", 303 pounds. So not as meaty, right? But he's tall, he's lean, but he's powerful. He ran a 40-yard dash of 5.05, which for a guy his size is nothing to slouch at. You look down here at each of these, the 40-yard dash, his bench press. The guy came up with a RAS score. I'm trying to remember what it was. His RAS was ridiculously high. It was like 9.87. And I personally did my draft based on RAS. Like I tried to fill positions of need, while also addressing BPOA, so best player, or BPA, the best player available. And I also I was very focused on RAS score. And the reason for that, I'm going to say this real quick. The reason for that is that George Payton, if you look at his draft last season, right? the majority of George Payton's picks all had ridiculously elite RAS scores, which is relative relative athletic score. Okay. And it takes into consideration their 40, their I believe their broad jump, their vertical jump, their height, weight, and length. And you take all that into consideration. There's some algorithm that goes into it, and bam, that's your RAS score. 10 is the highest it can be. And my boy here, Bernard Raymond, was like 9.87. So almost a perfect score as far as relative athletic score. So dude is a freak athlete. I'm just going to go give a couple of quick things. I'm going to give his strengths here and why I like him for what we do. He's a former tight end. He develops at a quick rate. He learns fast, right? He is very quick to get to the second level on run blocking, which, I mean, given the Broncos' current, the Broncos' new scheme, the outside zone blocking scheme, right? You're gonna need an offensive tackle that's athletic enough to carry the block into the second level, right? Capable, he's really good at blocking linebackers. He keeps feet connected. He's really good with his hips. I've watched some tape on him. Guy has amazing hip rotation, and he has burst speed out of off the line. He has probably my favorite attribute about him is his recovery athleticism, which means that, like, let's say dude's coming at him, bull rushing, whatever, and they knock him back, and he push and he gets knocked back. Most guys, let's be honest, when getting bull rushed by an edge, right, are going to continue to go backwards if they got beat, right? Someone with a high recovery athleticism who is really good at recovering, they might still manage to get their feet planted and suddenly throw a second block. And that's what I would love to see. I would love to see that protecting my new quarterback, Russell Wilson. So I was very, like Ben said, I don't know if Bernard Raymond will fall to 64. I don't know. Probably not. But even if he doesn't, even if Bernard Raymond doesn't fall to 64, he fell to me in my mock draft, so I took him with that high RAS score. So that's mine. Isaiah, go with your 64th pick.
So I took a different approach. You went by RAS. I took the reports of the top 30, the top 30 prospects that we visited, and I went based off that. And my number 64 pick is offensive tackle from Washington State, Abraham Lucas. Abraham Lucas.
Mr. Lucas.
Now, if you know anything about Abraham Lucas, Washington State, this thing jumped off the chart to me. He was redshirted, 6'7", 320, redshirted. Started all 4 years. Never missed a game. Healthy as he can be. Let me read you some of the statistics about this guy. Just a quick overview. This is why
Please and thank you.
He's arguably the best pass protecting tackle in college football coming into this draft. In the draft, arguably the best. In 2018, he was all rookie. In 2019, his sophomore year, he was rated as the best pass blocking offensive tackle in the nation. In 2019, his sophomore year, the best out of everybody from Alabama, Georgia, LSU, all in the SEC. In the Pac-12, Abraham Lucas was the best. In 2020, with the COVID season, he ranked as the 4th best offensive tackle in the Pac-12 by PFF.
Woo!
This year, in 2021, now this blew my mind. He played the most pass blocking snaps without allowing a single sack. Which
That's
was
impressive.
Which
meant
you
said he's Pac-12, which means that he did that against against Kayvon Thibodeau. That is not easy to do.
He didn't give up a single sack. He went 11 games from week 1 to week 11 in 2021 without giving up a sack or a pressure.
Sure.
So everybody, all eyes were on watching Abraham Lucas versus Kayvon Thibodeau, and he didn't give up a single sack against who's debatably the #1 draft pick in 2022.
Right.
This guy is probably the best pass protector that came out of college football.
The only reason that I would go, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Quick. No, you're good. He's quick. He's athletic. His punches and his hand movements are very strategic. What's up, Adon? Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Listen to him, baby. Listen to him. He's quick. His punches are strategic. His run blocking is above average, but one thing that it said in the scouting report was that it improved every single year. So this dude gets better and better and better and better. And he didn't give up a sack, and he only had 8 pressures. Best rated offensive tackle basically his entire college career. That's the guy I'm rooting for. Right.
I like it. I think the only reason I want to move on to our next one here in a second, but I think the only reason I like Bernard better, Raymond, is that he has that like I said before, that recovery athleticism. That's something that from everything I've seen, read, and watched on Abraham Lucas, he doesn't have that. Not quite as well anyway.
He has it. It's just not.
It's like not quite as pronounced. Abraham Lucas is good at that, but Bernard Raymond's better.
Correct.
And like I said, in the interest of protecting my new quarterback. By the way, if nobody knew that, for those of you that didn't know this, our new quarterback is Russell Wilson. You're welcome.
And don't you forget it.
Don't you dare forget it.
And don't you forget it.
In the interest of protecting the jewel, not the Josie jewel, the giant, beautiful, glistening ruby that is Russell Wilson. I would prefer to have a guy, me personally, that if he's there at 64, and he does rank higher in draft in his initial draft ranking in Bernard Raymond, I would take the guy who has the ability to recover from when he gets beat better, because he's going to give there's a better chance there of him being able to recover and throw a second block and protect than getting beat and just giving it up. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
That's why I like Bernard Raymond better, but that's just me.
So now that we
all right, so we gotta move on, or go ahead with that, your last thought, and then we'll move on.
No, that's exactly what I was gonna say. We go to the next pick after 64. So I guess I'll go first. My next one was so I went offensive tackle first, and then this one I went tight end. And the reason why I went tight end was because tight end 2 is still a big concern. Albright's great. He does have an injury history. He's a great run after catch guy. He's 6'5", 4.5 40 fast guy. He's a red zone threat.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had a very important text message come in. Who did you say? I'm sorry.
I didn't send them yet.
Okay. That's 2, by the way.
Okay. I'm on my second. So Tight end 2 is a big concern. I mean, we have Tomlinson, who's a great run blocking tight end, But we don't have that other guy that, if Albert O needs a breath or, say, God forbid, knock on wood, something happens, a guy that we can really count on that can not only block, but also go up and get the ball when we need them to. So the second pick I chose was Jelani Woods from Virginia. 6'7", 260. This guy's massive. This guy's basically, he's a faster. He ran a 4.61 40. He's a faster Rob Gronkowski. Mm-hmm. And this guy, he's from the scouting report, he's a developmental guy. He's a developmental guy. And I think you get this guy as a tight end too. You let him sit behind Albert O. You can definitely put him in there, have him rotate in the preseason, get him in the game. And he's definitely a red zone guy. He's 6'7". And like I told Johnny earlier, you get in the red zone, you get a package like Cortland Sutton, Albert O, Jelani Woods, and Tim Patrick. The smallest guy on the field right then and there is Cortland Sutton at 6'4". Everybody else is 6'4", 6'5", 6'5", and 6'7". He's a guy, I mean, in the film with Virginia, he was able to line up. He mostly lined up on the line, but he also lined up in the slot, and he also lined up outside the numbers. So he's definitely a guy with Russell Wilson in the red zone where you put him outside the numbers and you throw it up and you say, go get it. And he's definitely a guy that can, with in the Hackett offense, especially being a good blocking tight end, can definitely earn his reps and definitely get in there, and him and Albert O can battle it out and definitely be a threat with whoever you have on the field. So this first pick was offensive tackle Abraham Lucas. Second pick to me was solidifying the offense with depth and getting Jelani Woods from Virginia.
All right. I like it. I'm going a different route with my second pick. And y'all, please let us know in the comments what you think of the differences between our picks. Who would you take, above, and which of our picks might intrigue you, or do you disagree with or not like? Please let us know. I went a different route. I went defense.
Okay.
With my second pick, and he fell to me, and I was very happy about it. Arnold Ebiketie. I don't know how it's pronounced exactly, but he's the edge rusher out of Penn State. He's, I'm going to go ahead and bring him up on the screen real quick for just a second. You can see him there. He's 6'2", 250 pounds, 34 1/8 inch arms, and 10 1/4 inch hands. He had another one. Like I said, you can't see it on here, but I went off of high RAS scores. So basically anybody in my mock draft that I took today had at least a 9. I believe my lowest one was an 8.8 RAS or above. So in other words, every single guy I took in my draft was a freak athlete. It is that simple. Just generally as an athlete, they're a freak athlete. So this is a big dude. I'm going to go over some of his strengths real quick. His initial punch is powerful. He's able to snake into gaps and disrupt zone plays. Consistently cuts off backside cutoff. He makes it very, very difficult for the quarterback to get the good pass off. Skilled rusher, accurate hands, which means good dude to maybe get those hands up in lieu of in light of the loss of Shelby Harris. Subtle but really efficient movement. He bends. I don't know if you've watched any of Arnold Ebiketie's tape, but that dude bends and moves around the edge, man. It's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty, and he's fast. He's fast.
What was his 40 time?
40. Right now I don't have it listed here, but everything that I've watched, he tends to beat the tackle. He beats the tackle a lot. I like it.
So that's your second pick.
That's my second pick.
Okay, so my second pick, I already went over my second pick. My third pick, I went DB. I definitely went DB, and I like I'm gonna screw up his name. Last name Flott from LSU.
Wait, you said DB? Did you go cornerback or safety? Because both are DBs.
Cornerback, Cordell Flott. Flott from LSU. Now, watching film, this guy's he's not the biggest. He definitely reminds me of Bryce Callahan, and that's the reason why he was on the top. He's getting a visit.
So you be looking real quick. You what's his name? Fly.
Cordell Flott.
Cordell Flott. I haven't watched the tape on him. So
FLO. Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm watching.
He's a good
I have to.
tackler. He's a good tackler. He's very aggressive when it's time to go after the ball. He's very good in zone defense. He's also good in man defense. He's good at staying home in the zone.
Would he be better served like Bryce Callahan in the nickel or the dime, as opposed to being?
That's why I said I compare
on the outside.
He played boundary a little bit, but he's definitely George Paton's definitely looking at him for his inside.
Is he a top 30 pick? A top
inside. He's for the Broncos. Yeah, so his scouting report. So he's 6 feet 175. So Bryce Callahan's is 3 inches shorter. Same thing. He runs. So overall, it's the positives. A couple positives. Very good size and length for a slot defender. So he's got the length on him for a slot defender. Good quickness at a break. Shows footwork when not pressed vertically. So he's more of an intermediate pass guy. He's definitely a guy that you can rotate in with Kawan Williams for Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, who wants to run a seam up the middle or run a drag route.
You get someone like him, he gets to sit behind Kawan Williams and for a little bit and learn from him. Kawan Williams
absolutely
has a lot of. You will go back Broncos country, NRW crew. There's those that haven't watched, who really aren't that familiar with our free agent signing of Kawan Williams. Go back and watch. He's got a lot. He's a smart player. He has got football knowledge. He's got things to pass along.
Yeah, and a guy like read the negatives.
Sure.
Average man skills. He has decent lateral quickness, but can get caught leaning.
But let's be honest. In this scheme, we're not going to. We're going to be doing a lot. We don't have to worry that much about man.
For average man, his recovery speed. It says tackling is a question. He can over pursue at times, reaching for tackles without wrapping up, throws his body around, but lacks blow delivery. And the Broncos had a big problem with that. Michael Ojimudi, when he first started, had a problem with not wrapping up, and Vic Fangio didn't like that, which I understand. But this is a guy that's probably going to rotate in, learn the defense as well. And most of these fixes are all developmental. Getting time in the league, getting the right coaches and things like that, and definitely sitting down with him, watching film and understanding and fixing these issues. So he's definitely a guy I can see bringing in. All these guys I'm mentioning, Abraham Lucas, Jelani Woods, Cordell Flott, are all developmental guys who can definitely take over the mantle. Same with you, with Raymond. Raymond.
I said it earlier, and this is something that I guarantee you, if Ben was still on with us right now, he would absolutely say anything after the top 10, top 20 players in the first round, you're not expecting them to be, day one impact starters. You're expecting them to be developmental.
Very rare. I mean, the Broncos with last year, why we had
you get lucky. You get lucky.
Quinn Miners, Jonathan Cooper, Javonte Williams.
Let's be honest. Hey, George Paton's 2021 draft class. Gosh, that man did something incredible there.
But he did it so well.
It's not something you can expect every time.
Right.
You know
he did it so well to the point where this year it's simply developmental guys for the future.
I'm going to say one. I think we're going to have to stick. We're going to have to cut it off at our third picks each.
Okay, that's fine.
And that's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and say this real quick. If George Paton doesn't have as all around, explosive or incredible or prolific draft class this season, in 2022 as he did in 2021, I know that the social media and the Twitterverse are going to, there's going to be people out there that are already going to be ready to crucify him for it. But the point is, what he did with that 2021 draft class is almost, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
There's only two people.
Ever. It doesn't
There's only two people he drafted. I think.
So if it doesn't happen again,
he drafted for depth and starters. And the guys he drafted became starters. So he set himself up to this year where, like he said, his methodology is to fill the holes during free agency. And now he's set up. He had to fill the gaps his first year. He's like, okay, let me come in here. Let me see what I can do. He did a fantastic job. He won an award for it.
Absolutely.
And so he set himself up to the point where he's like, okay, now in free agency, I'm filling holes I need. And now he's coming to the draft and he's saying, I'm just drafting for depth and the future. I don't have to draft for starters.
That's what he did last season, and it worked out for him. And like I said, so many of those players were elite athletes as far as their RAS scores go.
Well, do you know who has the highest RAS score on the offensive line right now?
I want to say it's Quinn Miners.
Out of all the starters, all the backups, And all the people we're looking at in this year's draft, Quinn Miners has the highest RAS score, and it's not.
Well, I mean, obviously,
close.
it's the highest RAS score coming out of college. I mean,
I mean, out of everybody we're looking at now, even Abraham Lucas, all these guys, everybody we're looking at and starters, Quinn Miners has the highest out of all of them. I mean, that was a third round pick out of a small school.
I love it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
What's happening with Quinn Miners, Trevor Penning, and guys like your guy came from Central Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's not a small school, by the way.
I'm saying what teams are doing is now they're going to these smaller colleges strictly for offensive linemen.
Sure.
Because you
got them corn-fed farm boys going out there, man.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we're gonna go over here for offensive linemen.
So let me give my third, and then we got to get out of here. But my third pick in my draft, I went with James Cook, running back, Georgia. My bad.
What?
Georgia. My bad. Georgia. Used to live there. It was wonderful. 4.42 in the 40-yard dash.
Not bad.
33-inch vertical, 124 in the broad. But what I like about him, this guy, there's no question, absolutely no question that Javonte Williams is going to be our RB1.
That's what I meant to ask Ben. Darn it.
What?
I was going to ask him what he thought about Mike Boone stepping in the RB2 position.
Okay,
but it just reminded me because you mentioned running backs. Go ahead, continue.
So, here's what I like about him. I think here's what I like about James Cook out of Georgia. We got Mike Boone. Mike Boone did some amazing things in his first season in Denver, which is awesome. But I think we still need somebody to kind of come in and be a good complementary player to Pookie, right? So as far as strengths go, his instinctive processing, he sees the field. He's got great vision, which is a place that Javonte Williams really struggled with this last year.
Mm-hmm.
Really smooth reads, cuts through the line, gets up to the second level really fast. He's got rapid feet, which means they're hard to get a hold of and tackle. He leans forward quite a bit, which also makes him hard to tackle. We've seen some of the best running backs in history, T.O., Terrell Davis. Some of these guys, when they do that forward lean, it was almost impossible to take them down. And you know what I'm talking about.
Earl Campbell. Thank you. Absolutely. He makes good hard cuts. He's a master of that. He's patient though. He's really patient. You watch film on James Cook. He's really, really patient. And I love that about him. And I think the thing that I liked the most, before we get out of here, I think the thing about him that I really loved the most was that he's a good pass catcher. Another really good pass catcher. Another good weapon for us. So there you go. James Cook. That's our 3 each for our mock drafts. We got to get out of here, guys. But we thank you for being part of today's episode with Ben Allbright and everything. We thank Ben Allbright for joining us. Thank you, NRW crew, for joining us for another fun episode. Please do not miss the 5280 podcast on Tuesdays. Mundungus, Glenn, Boggins, and Bree, Cameron Parker. You're going to love it. 7654, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. The brand new Wild Wild West. 4 guys, 1 from each team in the AFC West Division. Lots of smack talk, but lots of good football talk too. Hey,
35, 34, 30.
I already had comments from people saying, this show is lit. This show is lit. If you guys, with the way the AFC West is stacked this year, this is going to be the best trash talking podcast. I mean, imagine going after division games, going to tune in and be able to watch AFC West. Imagine on draft night. You guys got to tune in and watch this.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Do not, our show, Thursdays, 7654, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And Fridays, Bronco Bill, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Same time, same place. Don't miss all of our audio podcasts wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And with that being said, Isaiah, get your hands out because it's time to give us a big.
Oh, hold on, Johnny. You're not just going to. Yeah.
Yes, I am just going to. Get your hands out there.
You're forgetting something, Johnny.
What? The merch store. We already talked about the merch store.
We want to talk about it again.
No, we don't.
I'm talking about it again.
You're killing me, Holmes.
It's Smalls.
I don't care. I amended it to what I wanted it to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to go to the merch store. You can get your favorite merch from your favorite podcast, 5280, Broncos Breakdown with Bronco Bill, Wild Wild West, and NRWOB, ladies and gentlemen. So Johnny can stop words I can't use right now. Let's go ahead and end this. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share the URL with your friends. Let's go.
Get those arms out, NRW crew. Here we go with a big mile high five. Woo! Thank you, NRW crew. Thank you, MHRT fam. And thank you, Broncos country. Let's ride!